What's up, friends? Welcome back to KimmyDTV, your one-stop shop for nurses and aspiring nurses to achieve academic and career success. Okay, so in this video I'm going to be talking about my Q4 nursing school update. So for those of you guys who may not know, I am in a LPN to RN bridge program, and I just completed my Q4, and in Q4 I took nursing 224, which is med surg part 2, because in Q1 I took med surg part 1, and I also took nursing 225, which is the nursing foundations class / Nclex prep class. Okay, so if you guys are interested in learning about my LPN to RN journey, I have made a playlist and I will leave it down the link below, and this video should actually be a part of the playlist, so you should probably be able to easily navigate that on the side of your browser if you're looking at this video through a desktop computer. But nevertheless, I did document my journey as much as I could. I couldn't document a lot, of course, because I was extremely busy, but I did document my journey. And as usual, you guys could always leave the questions down below. The only question that I politely ask for you guys to refrain from asking is which school I went to. I'm not comfortable yet to disclose that information, just for privacy reasons. So, but other than that, if you guys have any questions about LPN to RN bridge, let me know and I'll be sure to answer your questions down in the comments. And don't forget to give this video a like and hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video about nursing, career, and scholastic success videos. Okay, so in this class, I feel like this was one of the most hectic quarters of the whole program. Med surg, how's med surg? I mean, med surg is always med surg. Quite frankly, I really like my med surg teacher. I had him for nursing 221, which was my med surg 1. I really liked him. He was, as usual, even though we were online, he was always extremely encouraging. He always put up on the board that, oh, he believes in us and that he knows that we can make it. And believe it or not, those simple words, before an exam or before we turn an assignment really helps. And also we had VSIM this quarter because, of course, I live in New York City, which is a metropolitan city, and it was one of the hard-hit cities that were affected by the situation, which I can't say because of YouTube censorship situations. But it was one of the places that was hard hit, so therefore, unfortunately, we couldn't get into the hospitals. But honestly, in my opinion, like being an LPN, honestly, I feel like that kind of worked for my favor. And I'm not saying that that's everybody's situation. I mean, if you are a brand new nurse, if you are someone who is not a nurse and you're just going into nursing, like you're not even a CNA, maybe you are upset that it did not work out in your favor. But for me, like, I've been a nurse for like this past October would make me 7 years as a nurse right now. So I'm not saying I know everything, of course not, I don't, but I kind of felt like I already paid my dues in a sense, where I don't have to see a patient to know how to be a nurse, because I've been a nurse for 7 years. And I know the game, and I know how everything is done. You really learn how to be a nurse on the floor, on the unit, no matter how many clinicals you go to, you will never ever learn, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. You will never learn how to truly be a nurse until you actually go work, until it's your license online and you're the one who is learning, okay? And until training day, basically. So that's that. So the VSIMs went all right. I feel like with the VSIMs, they helped me learn a lot. I feel like with the VSIMs, if you really want to learn, you get in what you put in. For me, I always try to do my best on the VSIMs. I had the Saunders book, the orange book, the Saunders Nclex RN book, and anytime I had, for example, I had a patient who had a hypersensitivity reaction to an antibiotic because he had pneumonia, one of my VSIMs, and I went in my Nclex RN book and I used that information, like I read up on it to help me answer the questions and to help me gain a deeper understanding as to what I'm doing. And even with the VSIMs, when we had like questions, I wouldn't just like read real quick and then click next. Like I would actually take my time and read it. Even before, in the beginning of the quarter, I was working full time, I still tried. And that's another thing with work. Okay, so with this quarter, I was working before. I was working a full-time job, working in the clinic, and then things got really hectic with school. I thought this quarter would be easier, but things got really hectic with school, and I had to drop down to work part-time, like 3 days a week. Okay, so I was working 3 days, and I was also going through a lot of stuff in my personal life. No, it's not about a boy. I feel like when a young lady sits down and says, oh, she's going through stuff with her personal life, people automatically think a boy, but no, it's not. But I was going through a lot of stuff with my personal life, and work just became an extra stressor. Like I said, if you guys saw my previous videos, I thoroughly enjoyed working in a clinic setting, but it just became too much. Like it asked, like, guys, like working in a clinic is awesome, I love it, but it does demand a lot out of you because it's like, you know, it's Monday through Friday, it's 9 to 5, and sometimes you have to stay a little bit after. Anyways, if you guys want to know more about working as a clinic as an LPN, I will leave that video down below. But basically it took a lot from me. Even though I really enjoyed it, it still took a lot from me, and to the point where I felt like I had to decide between, okay, do I want to finish my RN program or do I want to work as a clinic and doing something I love, working in a clinic, but like sacrificing the whole reason why I moved from Houston back to New York and vice versa. So I wasn't about to let that go. So in a nutshell, I decided to, unfortunately, I had to leave the position, even though I really wanted to stay. I had to leave the position, and yeah, that was that. So after that, we had another class it was called Nursing 225, but it's also called Nursing Foundations. And in that class, it was supposed to be like basically teaching you about the foundations of nursing, like Florence Nightingale, and like what does it mean to be a professional nurse, you know, boring stuff. Like, but my school decided to do a twist to it and make it also a class where we really focus on the Nclex, and that was the first time that our school ever did that. So we were the guinea pigs, if you will, of that course. So yeah, so my school was like, you know what, this class is going to be a hard class. You guys are gonna have like 2 nursing semesters. I know you guys are the first class to go through that. And I was like, and honestly, when I heard that, I felt extremely apprehensive about it because I was just, I don't know, I was just baffled at the thought of having to take 2 heavy nursing classes at the same time. I was like, no, this was supposed to be a good quarter. This was supposed to be my last quarter of nursing school. For those of you guys who make it this far of the video, you guys know that this was my last quarter of nursing school. And like, that's it. But I can honestly say that I am happy that my, you know, president of the school decided to do that, because it actually kind of gave me a realistic view of how prepared I actually am for the Nclex, and it made me take it more seriously. I purchased UWorld, where I purchased the UWorld a few months prior to me starting back nursing school, because okay, before this quarter I had like a 2 month break, 2.5 break from nursing school. That's just how my nursing school is set up. And then I came back for the last quarter. I purchased UWorld towards the end of that break, and I did start to do it, but not like seriously do it. And because I had to pass this class in order to graduate, I really took it seriously. I mean, my school was like, listen, you have to pass this class to graduate. Don't think this is some class. If you want to graduate, if you want to get your PIN, if you want to get your degree, you must graduate. And yes, that caused a lot of anxiety in me, but at the same time, I felt like I feel grateful for the fact that my school had that as a requirement, because, you know, it just helped me took Nclex more seriously. And I did an array of questions every day if I could. I went to the gym at that time. I started back working out, and I just did questions all the time. I would sit outside my house and like do questions. Even if it was cold, I would put a jacket on. So I had to do a lot of questions. I'm sorry for the sunlight, but I had to do a lot of questions. But nevertheless, I just feel blessed, like I said, to have completed this quarter. I had to do a lot of questions, so there was a lot of anxiety. I could say that this quarter was filled with a lot of anxiety, and this is also advice for your last quarter of nursing school, like, or maybe I should make that a separate video. I don't know, but yeah, I think I'm gonna make that a separate video of advice for your last quarter of nursing school. That's gonna be a totally separate video. But yeah, so basically I finished. I was really struggling a lot with my nursing 225 class, which was my Kaplan class, because basically it was Kaplan. Like, when I first started the class, my grade was as low as, we had to do these like Kaplan practice tests every week. And my first grade was like, I think like a 41, guys. And according to Kaplan and according to my school, you have to do at least a 60 and above to do well. But you know what, that just shows you, and I'm gonna make a separate video on how to succeed in Kaplan, but that's just to show you that you should never give up, because I kept practicing, especially those U-World questions. I'm gonna make a video of how I succeeded in Kaplan. I practiced so much that I got up all the way up to a 71 in one of my practice questions, and it all came from practicing. Because you know what, now that I finished this quarter, oh yeah, so after I passed my quarter, I was like crying. Like, I cried so much that I almost threw up. Like, that's how happy I was that I passed like nursing school. And the following week we had a Kaplan review course, and it was a 3-day review course. How did I feel about it? I mean, I don't feel like it was totally bad, but I feel like it was good. I felt like the person who created the Kaplan review course, I feel like she tried her, you know, she did her best and stuff like that. But I feel like for me and the way I learned, I felt like it was just like kind of like repetitive. I don't know, for me, I didn't really favor the Kaplan review course per se. I feel like, to be honest with you, I feel like I would rather sit in a Mark Klimek review course, or a Remar review course, or just basically U-World, because that is just how I learn, okay? But some people swear by Kaplan. Not saying that Kaplan is bad at all. Please don't say I'm saying that. I'm not saying it's bad. I just feel like the whole, you know, decision tree, and and it was really hard for me to sit down for like that long to somebody speak like that.